Okay, so today we're going to talk about charcoal. And we put charcoal in this 55-gallon metal drum about 10 years ago. And we did this because we had been told that charcoal loses its burning power if it's just left in its own bag. You lose it even over a year's time, you could lose more than half. So it's been sealed in here, and we haven't checked it. So we thought, a neighbor challenged us to check it. So we're doing this for everybody to see. So we're going to open it, but I want to tell you a funny story. So about 10 charcoal briquettes are equal to about 350 degrees, give or take 1 or 2 briquettes. So we had been trying to bake bread in it, and it just didn't work. We were using 22 briquettes out of our bag that had been in our garage for a while. We didn't know anything different. So we baked our bread with 22 briquettes. Well, we bought a new bag of briquettes, and we went to bake some bread in our charcoal box oven and just destroyed them. The oven just melted. We probably got up to 700 degrees with those 22. So now we can do 9 to 10 briquettes, and we'll show you this a little later, how it bakes bread beautifully. But we're going to see how this charcoal that we've not tried, so you're going to see this with us 10 years in here, if it's still going to burn pretty close. So Keith, do you do the honors? Okay, there's our bags.
Here, yeah, I'll get that.
Cut that open. Okay, get out about 15. Nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's good. One more? Okay. Oh, 2 more. Okay. Now we'll seal it back up. You want to seal this back?
Nice red.
Pull it down a little bit. Let me cover that. Oh, I do have some scissors. Okay, now we're going to seal it back up.
Get some coke on there.
Alrighty. We got this can for about $10 10 years ago. So you need to either put it in plastic or plastic bins, but they say that a metal one is the best because it keeps the moisture out.
Where's the screwdriver?
It was probably easier on us 10 years ago. There we go.
Gotta go all the way.
There we go. Thanks, Corky. He's our photographer, by the way. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit more about charcoal, but just remember that you need to keep it protected from moisture. It's not the light, it's not the air, it's the moisture in the air that gets it into it and destroys its burning power. Okay, let's pause for a minute and then we'll cook some in the charcoal box oven. Okay, so we're going to use a charcoal box oven to bake some bread today. And I want to explain what a charcoal box oven is. We just got a box, so measure the box that will fit whatever your equipment is. So this is our smaller one, and I told you about burning up our big one. The big one was 17 by 24 by 15, and it fit those big cookie sheets. This one, it's a smaller cookie sheet, so we are going to make a bigger one again because I do my brownies and my banana bars in the big one, so that's what I want. So this box is lined. We lined it with this Thermtex, which you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot or any building supply place. They put it on the outside of homes to insulate them. And it's about this thick, it's about an inch thick, and it's covered with tinfoil. Okay, so you need that. Or if you wanted to just line your box with heavy tinfoil and glue it in there, that would work too. But for a more permanent type thing, this works better. We covered the outside of our box with contact paper just to keep the moisture off of the box because we've taken this camping a lot. So what we've done is we've got 2 air holes here. And on our bigger one, we put a 3rd one because charcoal needs some air sucking in to keep burning. Otherwise, the charcoal would go out. So those are kind of vents in our oven. Okay, so what we've done, and you could use bricks, but just for weight, we're older, we've got these little bread pans. So they're inside here, and then you put a pan here, and this is going to hold the charcoal. So he'll put that in when the charcoal is lit, and then on top of that, you could put another cookie sheet, but I happen to have this like little shelf, and so that's where the bread's going to go. And then this will just go on here, and there's your oven. And so we'll watch and see. We're doing an experiment with this charcoal that's been in that can for 10 years. We're going to see if 10 charcoals work, or if it's lost a lot, we might have to add a little more. So
What about this?
now what Keith is starting the charcoal with, most of you know this, but he's putting the charcoal inside this starter chimney. And then he's going to wad up some newspaper underneath it and light that, and it'll probably take about 10, maybe 15 minutes at the most until you see the charcoal getting gray and kind of lighting all of them. And when it gets to the point where the briquettes are lit, then he will put them on this first sheet here. And then we'll let the oven get up to heat, and then I'll take the cover off quickly and put the bread in, and we'll cook it. So, and they say that this takes about half of the charcoal that it takes to cook something in a Dutch oven. So that's interesting to know. But this, we like this. We like both, the Dutch ovens and this. But this is nice for your cookies, your brownies, your bread.
Do we want to zoom in at all and see the...
Maybe. He's getting it lit. So you can see a chimney, it's smoking up there. And he's lighting this underneath. And you'll peek through the little vents in the side, and you'll see if the briquettes, they'll turn from that black that they are originally to a kind of a gray. Maybe that should be on the cement key so it won't ruin our table.
Make marks on our cement though.
Yeah, but it's a metal table, but nevertheless. So we'll pause for now, and then we'll have you check it out in just a minute.
All right, we're going.
Okay, so we're putting 10 charcoal briquettes that are gray. We heated up. It took about 10 minutes. You should have seen, it was pretty funny. We lifted it up to put it on this cookie sheet, lost all the burning paper, and had to scramble and get that. It was one of those we should have had take 1, take 2, take 3.
Actually, we got 11 of them in there.
Okay.
Okay.
They seemed to light pretty good, though, didn't they?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, look at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they were really old, they wouldn't be lighting very fast, so that's a good indication.
We
Okay.
hope.
Yeah. Okay.
We will let the oven get a little bit up to heat here. I'm going to go get the temperature control. You can go ahead and pause it for another minute here. Thanks, Courtney. Okay, had a few problems. We'll tell you about it, but we're going to put bread in there. So we're taping this shut somewhat. Hold that tape while we put some more tape on this. Don't knock it off. Yeah, well, it'll just- Okay. Okay, let me tell you what happened. I think the charcoal is great. So the experiment for the charcoal is good. But we poked our temperature gauge a hole through here. And what happens is, I think the heat got inside of the foam that's inside this Thermtex and allowed the heat to it just expanded and started melting this part, the door, and it flipped out. So we had to quickly take it off, kind of mash it down, and let's see, we put that in about 2 minutes ago. So at about 4:05. Okay, so help me remember that. But what happened is it kind of melted this door. So we'll have to make a new door. Now there's other ways you can do this, and we might experiment with this one. So you could just make your box and put a couple of vents in it, and then some people cook right on the ground. So you'd put your briquettes on the ground or on a pie or a cookie sheet on the ground, then make your little shelf, put your bread in that, then put this right over it. And then you don't have a door. So that's one way to do this, and maybe that's what we'll experiment with next. But we're letting the bread cook in here, and hopefully we didn't lose too much of the heat because we were messing with it with the door off. But it looks like the charcoal lit beautifully, and it started to go up to heat very quickly. So I think this will work. So we're just going to, at this point, leave this. I have some instructions attached on how you would build this, and we've never had that happen with the door before, except when we did our first mistake where the whole thing went up to about 700 degrees and melted. But when we've just cooked in this before, it's never done that. But you have to cover every place where there's foam showing with this metal tape. So is this kind of showing the metal tape? Okay.
Yep.
So you buy a metal tape, and it conducts just like tin foil or metal, and you would cover any place that you cut. So all along the edges, all along your vent holes. But when we poked that through to think that that would let us tell the temperature, it exposed a lot of the foam, and that is probably exactly what happened to it. So hopefully it's closed enough that we can bake our bread this way, and we'll be back when it's done. Okay, so we had a problem. It's probably because the oven was old and we poked the hole and this top thing came down. So it would have cooked pretty good, you can see. We left it a lot longer because we had opened the door and stuff, and we probably left it longer than we needed to. But you can still see that there's still some heat in there that would be cooking. So anyway, we're going to try another experiment now. We're going to use it without the lid. We're going to put it on the ground. So we'll tack this on, or we'll totally change it. Thanks.